What's up everybody? Don Fron with the Don Fron Show here. Today's video we're going to keep it short, sweet. We're going to be talking about the indicator RSI, the Relative Strength Index. Now, we'll jump right into it. This is basically an oscillator. We're talking about this indicator right here. Now, most of your factory settings is a 14 period oscillator. That's what this line is right here. And how you can kind of use it, what these lines are in traditional settings, just your factory settings: 14 period, above 70 overbought, below 30 oversold. And that's kind of how, well, that's just what it is. This indicator was actually made or developed in 1978. So it had a little bit more importance back then as it does now, but nothing's changed. This is a momentum indicator. Kind of tells you where the strength is at. Not when people are talking about relative strength in the market. So like, this one was relatively strong today, this one underperformed, so it wasn't. This is actually an indicator just by itself. What's important to remember, it's a pretty easy one. I picked this one to go first in this video series because this one's easy. It's one of the first ones people learn, right? Overbought, don't buy it. Oversold, time to buy. And that's where most people make their mistake. It's important to remember, if you're going to use the RSI, this overbought, it's a condition, not a trigger. It is not a time for you to go short. And if it's oversold, it is not a time for you to buy. That is the relative strength. That means they are moving in that direction with some strength. Right now, we might have gotten a little carried away, so we might be a little bit up there. That's kind of what this indicator tells you. Hey, maybe time to pump the brakes. Now, I've used this indicator. If you guys follow me, you guys know how often I use it. About probably 5 times in my whole career. But one of those times, and it's actually ended up being a great example, was the RSI, the weekly RSI. So I'm looking at the past 14 weeks. Now, another thing I often don't see people do is you can set alerts on these actual indicators. And what I did was I set an alert at the RSI right here. Okay, actually it was, here's my alerts. Amazon on the weekly, relative strength index, we can bring that out, it'll say just that. I had it set to 85.05. Let's get that out of here. And that's right where it hit. Looks like the peak was 85.07. So it nailed it right there. And what I ended up doing, and like I told my mentor group, was it's time to pump the brakes. Now, aside from everything else and how I trade, I told everybody this week was going to be a pullback week anyway. Kind of made sense. But seeing that was actually when I started closing out long positions. And now, if we looked at a calendar, that was last week. So that was the July 9th. July 9th, that was last Thursday. Now we're on the weekly, so the candle still needs to close because I think we actually still pushed up. Yeah, so July 9th right here. One more. That's a candle pattern people look at to go short. That's definitely a sign. While that's still a bullish candle because you're bulls, we still closed at the highs. Probably wasn't the best. We actually gapped up, and that was it. All she wrote. We sold off the rest of the time. So if you instantly went short, you got train wrecked that day. But if you set that alert at that the relative strength was just way up there, we were probably a little overbought, know that it's time to pump the brakes. Maybe scale out on the long positions, take it a little bit easier, and definitely look into why is it this far up. If it has a good catalyst, if it's trending up, it might stay there for a while. There are times the RSI, it can hang out up top, and there's no reason to go short, and there's no reason to be shy about it. You're bullish because the strength is there. That's where the strength is at. That's where the numbers are at. But when it hits those really high peaks, it might be time to, hey, things need to cool off. Stocks don't just go in a straight line. They push up, they pull back. There's pullbacks for reasons why they say they're healthy. And that can be an indicator to say, hey, maybe it's time to pump the brakes a little bit on this. Exactly how I did. Now, I did go short for other reasons, and it worked out very well. But I'll end it here, guys. A quick video. In these video series, they're going to be the quick, the fast, what that indicator is and how you should use it, what it stands for, maybe when it was made. You'll notice a pattern with most of these indicators. They were made probably before you were born. And technology has changed since then, but it's still, if they're popular with the retail crew, strength in numbers, it's important to know at least what these indicators are. So I will see you guys in my next video.